welcome to Tool Time. Oh my goodness, I just realized all my lights aren't on. I'm feeling a little dark here. That's better. Just missing a light. Not now, my shirt is way blown out. Maybe it was better, but you'll want to see the page better. That's the that's why you're here, hopefully. So welcome, and it's Tuesday, and we are checking out some new tools. Now, these tools were wildly popular. They came out last month, and of course I was scheduled to do this last month, this tool time with these tools, and so I'm just going on to make sure that you can still get them. You can still get the road trip border punch, so I'm gonna focus on that tonight. You can no longer get the fun road signs mini trio punch set, sadly. So I will use those tonight. I'm excited for them. Obviously, lots of people, other scrappy people were too, because they sold out pretty quick. So if you're just joining me now, you will want to say hey, and like Audrey did, hi Audrey, say hey, and tag your friends and tell them to join you on over here. You do have to be present to win the drawing in the end. I will be doing a drawing for some scrapbooks tonight. It's an in the feed drawing, so you do have to still be in the feed to win, and all you have to do is comment and like this post. If you want to share or tag your friends, that would be great too. So the secret box number 2 came out last month, sold out in like 48 hours. Creative Memories brought it back. I should have checked to see if they were both still available. Yesterday when I ordered, they were both still available. Okay, both still available. Creative Memories brought back box number 1 and number 2, because number 1 also sold out pretty quick. That was earlier in the year. But there's a crazy thing with the secret boxes this year. There'll be 4. If you buy all 4, then you'll be eligible to purchase the 5th, which is why they brought it back, because they didn't want people to miss out. So Barb, who just hopped on, she purchased the first one. She loved it. It's like a celestial type thing. I ended up selling, I think I sold you mine, Barb. So I just had to remember yesterday that I had to buy myself a number 1 box. Because the thing with the secret boxes this year is they all come with an exclusive Border Maker cartridge. And if you're a Border Maker cartridge collector, like I am, and like many of you are, you do not want to miss one of those. So at Go Gray in May, we opened secret box number 2, because that's when the whole rest of the world opened them, and that was super fun. And it's like a music concert theme. It's not a secret anymore, so I can tell you. And the Border Maker cartridge is like a guitar and stars. Super cute. It's a knockout Border Maker cartridge, which means that it you can it's like creates great punch poop. That's what that means. So both are still available right now. You can let me know. You can order them through my website, Daytona Area Scrapbooking, if you want to pick it up for me. But you can also order it and save on shipping if that's the only thing you're purchasing. But you can purchase it direct from Creative Memories now, since they're back in stock, and it'll ship right to you. So the first box was $52.50 and the second box was $58. So if you are a secret box lover, you will want to take advantage of that. So the virtual crop ends tonight at midnight. And so if you are making pages for that, then you still have a few hours. And I am going to make a page using a sketch from the virtual crop tonight with some of the new tools. Next Tuesday is Techie Tuesday, and that will be a noontime show. And then here are the cards for May. If you were on in April, then you heard me say that the ones for May have a similar type feel. So it's kind of like April cards 2.0. So the cards in, none of them are repeats. There's no repeat embellishments or anything. But the cards in April had the same sort of artwork. And they were bees and butterflies and what else? But the feel of them, like I said, is the same. And this time there's hummingbirds and strawberries of the ladybug and caterpillars. And that one is kind of fun, the caterpillar card, because on the inside it's a butterfly. So the outside of the card says, hang in there, the best is yet to come. And then on the inside is a butterfly. I think it's super cute. Project recipes in a few weeks, June 3rd. Have a beginner class, and that is at the end of June. And I can't believe I didn't upload a picture for the summer crop, which is happening that same weekend. So it's the road trip summer crop. It is get your scrappy kicks on Route 66. So it's a Route 66 theme road trip crop, and that is on Friday, June 27th and Saturday, June 28th. And if you have a friend that's interested in learning how to scrapbook, but they are, not ready to commit to a whole day or 2 days, then just have them check out, the beginner class, and they can just make a 2-page spread. All right, and then July, we will be retreating to the mountains, retreat to the mountains in Helen, Georgia. That's going to be so much fun. Many thanks if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. That is the quickest way and the best way for you to catch up on past videos. Facebook is going to start deleting videos after a month. So Facebook Live is great to catch me live, but after 30 days, you're not going to be able to find the videos on Facebook Live. You're going to have to go to YouTube. I guess all these videos taking up too much space on the Facebook server. And ta-da! I know you were wondering, how much did we raise this weekend? We raised $4,103 so far. I say so far because we are going to have those cannonballs out there. People can still sponsor cannonballs. So Kirsten and I, we'll be doing cannonballs into the Port Orange Y. Everybody that sponsors a cannonball for $100, it's a $100 donation. You'll get a shout out on Facebook live as we're doing a cannonball in your name. So anytime I have to get into a bathing suit and be on Facebook Live, somebody's gonna make out. It's not me, but the Cannonballs for Kane Foundation. Well, so anyway, we've had 14 cannonballs sponsored so far. So we usually raise about $5,000 with our events. Actually, we raise over $6,000 in Crop for Gray and Gold in September. So the last 2 crops, we've raised over $10,000. And so thankful for you generous ladies. We were short about 10 people. A lot of people were traveling for the Mother's Day weekend. And so the ladies that were there sure did step up. And then like I said, we've had a couple donations from people that usually attend and weren't able to attend. That was awesome. And then we've also had some other people donate to sponsor cannonballs. So anyway, that is the update. There will be a full post after my live tonight. I just wanted to let you all know that are watching live where we ended up with our fundraising, yeah, so full post coming after this. So I'm very excited. All right, so tonight, this is my mess of a work area here. Oh, my mouse. Let me get, it's an earthquake. Okay. Get my mouse out of here. Don't need that. So, why do I look a little crooked here? I'm not sure. Okay. We'll get it. All right. So, I do have the cards here. There was a picture. So, here's the cards. Super pretty. So this one says sending warm thoughts for a speedy recovery. So these are the cards. They are not up on the website yet to purchase, but of course if you are a subscriber to my card kit, then you don't need to worry about that. But this is the one I was talking about. Hang in there, the best is yet to come, and it's got the butterfly stamped inside. So those are the May cards. All right, so tonight we are going to use sketch number 4 from the May virtual crop. And this is going on right now, like I said, until midnight tonight. And so it's still not too late for you to submit. So this is the punch that is still available. So cute. It's like a little Jeep Wagoneer and some trees. And then these are the road sign punches that sold out. And so I hate to, show you things that you cannot buy. I actually believe I have one in my inventory to sell. Of course, I got one for me and I got an extra one. I didn't sell this weekend, but I also hadn't done this tool time yet. So sometimes, it takes a tool time for people to see the many different ways you can use these punches. I love this little road interstate sign. Could also be like a sheriff badge, not a sheriff badge, like a police badge, not a sheriff badge, a police badge, a fireman badge, and of course you've got triangles and arrows. And then I'm pairing that with my circle because they will do very nicely in the middle. And that's why I decided to do this sketch, because the sketch has these circles here. So that'll work out perfectly. Now, deciding, because I don't have pictures for this, often on tool time I'm just playing around, so I don't really have photos that I'm scrapbooking. Whoa, goodness. Still got all kinds of stuff going on here. So I did pull together some colors and some paper. I wanted to use a green for the punch with the trees, and then I think I'm gonna do another one with some brown or maybe wood grain, and cut out some Jeeps. I don't know. We're gonna see how that goes. And then I wanted to add a little pop of yellow, and I have a fun idea for that. And then this was the paper I chose. I just felt like blues and greens, and my background paper I chose was from this Bold and Slate paper pack that came out in 2024, last year. And it had this like chalkboard paper, which also kind of reminded me of road asphalt. And so I decided that would be fun to use as my background paper. So that's what I'm going to use as my background paper, and then I'm going to add some of these other colors on here as well. So I'm going to get to cutting out the pieces, and then we're playing with these tools. And I'm going to set this off to the side. So this piece and this piece is just a 6 by 12. So I'm going to use this blue. It's got kind of like blue flowers on the back side. I'm not going to use that. Now, see, so like some people will want to turn this whole page, and so that this like thick part carries over. And I'm kind of with you if you are of that persuasion, because they can. So we'll kind of play with it both ways. With this pattern, it may or may not matter. That's what I was concerned about. I picked this pattern because it kind of does have a direction, and at the same time it doesn't. So like here, is it vertical? So if one's going here and one's going there, it's not that much at odds with each other, say it as if it were like stripes or something. So I'm gonna go with that, and then it calls for a 1 by 12 inch strip. So I'm gonna do 2 1-inch strips like this. Now, I think I may do these mats in white because it's showing it with a white background, but of course I'm going to have a black background. So that would mean I would want to kind of have a lighter mat. And then it's showing white for the borders, but I am doing borders that have color. So, again, I think I'm leaning toward a white mat. Okay, so let's start playing with our new tools. Let's put this over to the side. Let me adjust my seat here, and we're gonna start playing with this. So if you have never used one of these before, they can be a little scary for your first time. And I only say that because sometimes I have these out for people to use out of crop, and they're not quite sure how to use it and they're afraid to ask. So don't be afraid to ask how to use a tool. First thing you're going to do is open it, and then the second thing you want to do is really you can start anywhere in between these lines. And over the last, 5 years, Creative Memories has started adding these black lines because people used to draw them in and stuff. So these lines actually, when they wrap around, they line up with where the cut starts. That's why it's important to start there. If you come out to the edge, this part doesn't get cut. I mean, it will eventually because it's border, but so you want to start in between. So you go ahead and make sure that you're flat against this edge, you punch, and now you're going to slide on through until your pattern matches up, and then you're going to punch, and you're going to punch. So you match up those trees. Now it's really important to keep this piece up here flat. So you want to cover up the design on the tool so that it's exactly covered up, and then you want to make sure that it's flush against the top. So now I've got my light green. I went back and forth on what color green I should do. Decided I kind of wanted a light one. Found this one with a pattern and thought the pattern was maybe subtle enough that I could do that. Okay, so here's a question. Okay, so this would be, you could be going up a mountain. You could do a border. You can't see it on here. Let's put it on this blue. You could be going sideways, but this punch is now just helped me to decide I'm gonna have to turn this page. So now the question is, do I want my trucks, SUVs, whatever, all facing the same way? I probably don't want some going this way and some going that way. So I'm going to continue to cut the way that I was. Same way. I was thinking about, do I need to flip it over so that they would be going the other way? But no. In fact, I'm going to carry on the way I started. So don't forget, if you're just hopping on and I've already been talking, to say hey in the chat and like this live. That is how you will be entered to win some TM credits. So don't forget, it's very important. I used to be able to scroll that along the bottom, but now I can't do that, so I have to remember to remind everyone. Okay. So I've got my two cars there. Now I do want to get some white cardstock. All else fails, you can use your inserts. Oh, right, yeah. If I had two, if I had them going the opposite direction, for sure, Trish. Okay. So, this is perfectly safe for you to use in your scrapbook albums. This insert paper is acid-free, lignin-free, and buffered just like all of our other paper. So in this case, I need 4 circles. You know, we've got custom cutting system for circles, but if you don't have this, it's such a great tool. I'm sorry if you don't, because it really makes life easy. All right, now, let's get all this punch poop out of the way. Let's check out the punch poop. Didn't really check it out. We got some windows, we got the tops of trees. Nothing really exciting in the punch poop of the road trip punch. You know? So, let's, you know what? I need to get my little, I apologize, I don't know what this is going to sound like, but sometimes you just need to vacuum up your space real quick. Okay, so before I get into these, I already decided, instead of doing the road trip punch twice, border punch twice, I am going to use, it's got to be my favorite Border Maker cartridge, and that is the Rick Rack. And so I thought, well, that's a fun little, like, road, you know, squiggle road. You know what I'm saying? It's got a nice little feel there. Road feel, road trip feel. So I'm going to go ahead and punch out. This is the Border Maker system, Creative Memories Border Maker system. Gotta be hands down my favorite tool. If you were on since the beginning, you heard me talking about how all the secret boxes have an exclusive Border Maker cartridge this year. I don't know, I have so many of them, but I gotta have them all. They're so handy. You saw how quick that was for me to make these, and they are so handy. So I'm gonna see if I can get away with just using one on each page. I don't think I'm gonna need 2. Hey, wait a second. I just realized my laptop wasn't charging. It helps if you plug it in. It was plugged into the wall, but I never plugged my computer. Okay, that's better. Like, we don't need to go dead right in the middle of the live. That would be, it wouldn't be the first time, but it's really not my favorite thing to do. All right, I got 100 different adhesive tape runners around here. All right, let's look at this sketch again. How we're going to do this. I'm going to put this blue on the bottom, and then I'm going to do a blue here, different color blue, and then I thought I would kind of put them together with this, and then we're going to go here. Now, I don't know how that does not show up very good. So I wanted to go with a lighter, but I might need to grab a darker green. In fact, I know it, now that I see it, that I do need to. All right, so let me go ahead and put this down first. Now, if I was smart, I could weld this. I could cut this in half since I'm just using half here instead of wasting all of this paper. I also could cut out the border from this black. In fact, let's do that. So I'm going to do that. It's going to get covered up. So this way we can use this paper. That is certainly going to show up a lot better. And then I can cut another strip with a brighter green and just kind of do the trees. That's a fun thing with these shape, border makers, is you can layer them on top of each other. All right, so I'm gonna just do one from each to make it easier. Let me see how this is gonna look at the top. Let's match this up. I don't want them the same. Okay. All right. Yesterday was a very rainy day in Florida, and right now, tonight, it feels quite pleasant outside. This morning when I ran, it was so foggy. If you were on last week, then you know I'm reading the book, The 5 a.m. Club. And if you know me at all, you know I'm not a morning person at all. So I have no idea what possessed me to read this book and attempt to get up every day at 5 a.m. Here we are, week 2, and like I was saying last week, I'm very tired. All right, so I'm going to turn this sideways so that I know where 12 inches is. I'm not going to stick this paper I'm not going to put adhesive on the bottom. I'm going to put adhesive here on this bottom of this page. And then I'm going to put it on the top. So, and then I'm going to use the page underneath to match it. Okay, so now I have my 12-inch paper. This is my little cheat here. And now I can use that one to do this one. I know, right, Trish? You do need a vacuum. I'm such a mess, and depending on what your surface is, stuff, all of our little punch poop sticks. So I'm going to use this to match it up. We already said we're going to flip the script on this page. If I can line it up, I should have used repositionable tape. That would have been a better thing to do. Move this up. All right, let's try that again. Line it up. Good. Okay, so feel better now that I saved some of that paper. I'm going to stick this on here and this one on here. Here's the other. I've already lost. Okay. And whoops. Here it is. Now these little rickracs, I love to use my repositionable on. And let's put that right here where these two blues come together. And that just reminds me of a wavy line, you know, like in the sign, little squiggle road. That's not the repositionable. I did that last week. That was a mess. Picked up the wrong one. All right. Fuse that together. Well, hello, hello. We are playing as we do. Okay, so what do you think? I definitely like the dark of the car here. And I will definitely use the repositionable tape for this. We got all those little windows and tires. And I'm going to take it about 3/8 of an inch up on the edge. And my cars are going the same way. Yes, like the yellow stripe down the middle of the road, except Trish said like the yellow, that's what I was thinking, but a twisty one, like a mountain road. Not a straight road. Okay, so here we are so far. If you're just joining, thanks for hopping on. We are doing this sketch, and we have decided to flip this because mainly because of these guys right here, because we thought we wouldn't have them climbing up this mountain. So we decided to carry kind of like this is up here, similar. This is also 12 by 6 and a 12 by 1. I could have just done this one, but I was drawn to the circles on here because I want to use these cute little. This is not road trip paper because, Jen, I sold out of all of my road trip paper at the crop this weekend. So this is bold and slate, and this is I love to talk about how that's the great thing about Creative Memories paper. Yes, we do, Jen. You technically have until midnight tonight. All right. So I said I'm going to use white as my my mats here, and I'm using the back of the bold and slate because it's what I have handy right here. I didn't want to leave the class to go grab a piece of white cardstock, and since this white paper is photo safe, it's the same as our other paper, you can use it as a mat or journal box or whatever. So I'm gonna do my mat. So I've got 2 4x6, 2 more 4x6. I think I could do yellow. Nope. So close. 2 3/4. And it's supposed to be a 4x3. So it'll be a little small, but I was thinking I could add that in for another pop of color as opposed to more white. Let's see. So this is kind of throwing me because I'm gonna have to switch it up. I think I'm gonna keep these in the same orientation. I'm just flipping the part that's underneath. So we're going to go like that. And of course, these are also white. I think maybe I'll separate them in the sketch. They're overlapping, but maybe I won't overlap them, and that way let's move some things around here so that those two whites aren't touching together. All right, I'm gonna go right about there and just about like that. I could make yellow circles. So I was thinking I would play with the yellow and the blue because I want to play with these guys. And so I thought that I would want to make this yellow. What the heck did I do with the yellow? Oh, I fell on the floor. Okay. So these are the little mini trio punches, which sadly are no longer available. And how cute does that look? We've got our, of course, you know, in real life, that's red. I could grab some red, right? The yield, well, actually caution maybe is that color. Oh, let me switch this. Let's do that down there. I probably could get some red and green and kind of stay primary. Of course, our, you know, interstate. I love these little guys. So cute. And then over here, you can really have some fun with these guys because you could do a couple of them, and you know how like you could do a one-way sign, you could do like two-lane traffic like this, and maybe these circles are a little big for these little guys, and maybe I need to do some blue. Maybe I need to do this, and then I need to do some blue arrows. This is like bend in the. It's like an exit ramp. Oh, come on. You know. 2 lanes. One's going that way, one's going that way. In fact, you could, these are big enough that you could do even like this. Like a highway. Goodness, my nails. Get out of here. So that is the mini trio punch. I don't want to spend too much time on that because, like I said, you can't get them anymore. And I don't want everyone to cry. Although, if you really did need to have them in your life, I bet I could track it down. I am part of a large network of Creative Memories advisors. We help each other out when we, you know, have someone that needs something. It's an emergency, a scrapbook emergency. We've all had those. Those gotta have supplies. Uh-oh. These little guys, perfect for little things like this. And some good tweezers are definitely essential for picking up little things. Well, hello, welcome. We are playing with some of the road, and if you missed the beginning, and I know some of you did, at the end of June I'm having a road trip crop, so we will have a Route 66 themed crop, and usually the summer ones, because everyone's travel is so, you know, people are in and out of town and doing stuff with the family, so usually the crops aren't as big, and so we will do like a class for every state on Route 66. So I'm working on those now, so we'll try to have them kind of themed out. I'm trying to decide what direction we'll go, Chicago to LA or the other way. Did I stick these down? I did. Okay, so the title, maybe journal box, goes here. I do need to decide what to do about these other little pictures. I probably could just go yellow and just make these pictures a little smaller. It's supposed to be a 3x4, and it's 2 3/4, not 3. But I think it might be close enough. So I'm gonna put these little 2 3/4 by 4. Yeah, I took the kids, me and April and Aiden did all of Route 66 when the year they were in 6th grade and 8th grade, and I was homeschooling them, and that was a really fun adventure. Okay, now can go ahead and stick these down. So title will go there. And I've got, now because these are white, I really could just write on them. 3.5 by 2.5. Creative Memories has these fun little spot holders. So we have a 3x4 photo. I could just do a 3x4 photo and do it like that. I agree, Nancy. I think the yellow kind of makes it pop. I could do it like that, where it's just kind of on the outside, and do a 3x4 photo like that. These little things, so Creative Memory sells these, and the little pack comes with the little accordion thing, and it comes with all the the sizes that Creative Memories, not all the sizes, but a lot of the sizes that Creative Memories uses. And you'll see a lot of people when they post their pages with these on them. And so that you can reuse them when you put your picture down. I just put a little bit of, I'm not gonna attach, and so I don't waste. You can also just, if you're gonna use it for when you're posting on Creative Memories, you could also just place them on there and and then, you know, remove them. But if you're like me, you got a bunch of these pages, and these are nice little savers, so that, right, Jen? I've been seeing them, and I'm like, now I do need to figure out, like I said, how to mass produce them or just take photos of them. You also can just tuck your, one of the things I say to people is to, where you have your sketch, is to tuck your sketch or your project recipe right in it, and of course that has the measurements on it too. But sometimes in a sketch where there is no mat and the picture is just kind of like floating, if you know, be like, if you're like this and it's supposed to be like just 2 4x6s like that, and you're like, great, you pull them out and you're like, well, what am I doing with this? So to be able to stick like these things on here so that you remember what the layout is really nice. And so I just try to keep them handy. And like I said, just put a little, because when you take them off, you can just go like that, and then your repositionable tape comes right off. So, you know, you definitely, obviously, you're not going to put your photo on top of this. It's just a little space saver. Oh, look, I've got 2 little yellow arrows, and I bet I can find a cute little place to put these little arrows, just like that. These little arrows are darling. Okay, so I think, oh, I didn't stick that down, did I? All right, so that is the cute little road trip border punch, and that is sketch number 4, Creative Memories Virtual Crop. I will definitely take pictures of this afterwards and upload to the Creative Memories Virtual Crop group. And if you're not a member, you definitely should. Lots of inspiration. It's fun. And you know how Facebook is. It's going to show you your when your Facebook friends post, it's going to show you those first. And so that means it's a really great way for you to see your what your scrappy friends are doing. So I kind of like the way this came out with the dark. I don't even feel compelled to, you know, add any type of color on there. I think it looks good, and it's got a nice little road trip vibe. And so I think we are ready to see about who our lucky winner is tonight. So if you're watching and you haven't commented, you're going to want to do that right now and say, hey. Oh, hey, Shirley, I didn't see that you snuck in there. Welcome, and I can't wait for Lakeland as well. We are going to have a lot of fun, as always. Oh, well then. I'm about to sneeze. Sorry. I feel like I needed to let everyone know so that I didn't blow out your ears. I tried to sneeze away from the microphone. Okay. All right. And let's see. We're going to have to switch. And while we wait to see if Kathleen, oh, well, hey, Trish, welcome. While we wait to see if Kathleen is still on here with us, there is a little bit of a delay, so I gotta wait a second. I wanted to let everyone know that this weekend, about 30 of us raised $4,103 for the Cannonballs for Cane Foundation. So this will go out in a post a little bit later tonight with the group photo and some other photos from the day. So that is super fun. And Kathleen, hopefully she saw, yay! It was you. So congratulations, Kathleen. I will send you some CM credits. I think I've got your email. I think you are a past winner. If not, go ahead and message me through Facebook. Make sure that I have your email address. And thanks everyone if you attended, and I see who's on here, so I know many of you did attend this weekend, and I appreciate you all attending the Go Gray in May event. Do save the date for September. We'll be raising money for the Cannonballs for Cane Foundation again, September 19th and 20th. It actually is on the Cannonballs site already if you wanted to get a jump start on that. But if not, of course, we have plenty of time for that. It isn't on my website yet, and it's not on Facebook, but I just wanted to let you know that you, ladies watching tonight, you are in the know. And we have lots of fun planned for this summer. Like I said at the top of the live tonight, we have a retreat to Lakeland in a couple weeks, and then we have a 2-day crop in Port Orange at the end of June, and then we have a Wednesday to Sunday crop in Helen, Georgia in July, and then we have a 2-day crop in Port Orange in August, and then we have another 2-day crop in September to benefit Cannonballs for Cane, and then of course we have Croptoberfest, and then we have our retreat to Volano. So this year is gonna fly by, and I can't wait to spend all those fun times with you, my scrappy friends. So don't forget, we've got Scrapbook Club second Thursday of every month, and then look for some fun sort of pop-up events to happen this summer, some card classes at the ice cream shop and various other places. So I hope you all have a wonderful night. Thanks for spending a little bit of it with me, and I hope to see you all soon. And until I see you again, stay scrappy, my friends. Bye-bye.